Absolutely. Here's a full, emotionally gripping, cinematic story based on your title, crafted for a 1,000-word YouTube video, with engagement hooks included. Struggling dad saves billionaire woman from heart attack, never expecting she'd love him. The city never sleeps, but that night, the streets seemed darker, colder, and heavier than usual. Rain-slicked roads glistened under flickering streetlights, reflecting the struggles of a man whose life had long been overshadowed by hardship. Armin, a 34-year-old single father, had spent the last decade fighting battles most people couldn't imagine. His days were spent working 2 jobs to provide for his 6-year-old daughter, and his nights were consumed by worry, exhaustion, and the gnawing fear of failing her. Life had taught him resilience, but it had also taught him one harsh truth: sometimes, the world just moves on, leaving the good-hearted behind. That evening, Armin had just finished his shift at a small garage, his hands greasy and aching, when fate intervened. He was walking home, his jacket soaked and clinging to him, thinking about tomorrow's bills and what he would cook for his daughter, when a sudden commotion on the sidewalk caught his attention. A woman had collapsed. Her designer heels were skidding on the wet pavement, her expensive coat drenched. People around her were panicking, frozen, unsure of what to do. But Armin didn't hesitate. With a rush of instinct he didn't know he had, he pushed through the crowd, crouched beside her, and checked for a pulse. Her breathing was shallow, uneven, she was having a heart attack. Fear surged through him, but so did determination. He instructed someone to call an ambulance and gently moved her into the recovery position. He applied the CPR techniques he had learned years ago in a workplace safety course, his hands trembling as adrenaline and hope collided. Minutes felt like hours. Every second, he whispered to himself, "You've got to live, you've got to live. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the idea that one selfless act can change everything, please like this video, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel." The ambulance arrived just in time, paramedics taking over with efficiency and urgency. Armin stepped back, drenched in rain, his heart still pounding, not just from the adrenaline, but from the intensity of seeing a life so precariously balanced in his hands. The woman was rushed away, leaving him standing there, a nameless hero amidst indifferent onlookers. He didn't know who she was, but something in her presence lingered, a quiet weight that seemed far heavier than her frail figure. Days passed. Armin returned to his routine, caring for his daughter, working, surviving. The memory of that night haunted him, not in fear, but in an unexplainable sense of connection. Then, a week later, an unexpected call changed everything. The woman he had saved wanted to meet him. Her name was Nadia, a 38-year-old billionaire businesswoman, whose life was as high-profile as it was high-pressure. She had the kind of beauty and presence that could silence a room, yet the gratitude in her voice was raw, unpolished, and deeply human. She wanted to thank him personally. Their meeting was awkward at first, worlds apart in wealth, experience, and perspective. Armin, in his worn jacket and calloused hands, felt painfully aware of the disparity between them. Nadia, elegant and poised, softened when she saw the sincerity in his eyes. She had spent years surrounded by people who admired her money, her power, but never the person behind it. For the first time, someone had cared about her life, not her status, her influence, or her image. Armin had seen her as a human, vulnerable and in need, and that had meant more than any luxury or accolade ever could. Over the next few weeks, they began to meet secretly, away from cameras, gossip, and scrutiny. Armin showed her a world she had never experienced, a life where happiness wasn't measured in wealth, but in moments, the laughter of a child, the warmth of a simple home, the quiet strength in getting through a tough day. Nadia, in return, shared glimpses of her life's pressures, her relentless schedule, the isolation that came with success. Slowly, admiration became friendship, and friendship blossomed into something far deeper. But love was never simple. Armin struggled with feelings of inadequacy, haunted by the idea that someone like Nadia could never truly belong in his world. He was a mechanic and a father, someone who measured life in small victories and unpaid bills. Nadia, meanwhile, faced scrutiny from her peers and family, warning her about falling for a man they saw as beneath her. Yet, neither could deny the bond forged through fear, courage, and shared vulnerability, a bond that had saved both their lives in different ways. One rainy evening, echoing the night they first met, Armin and Nadia found themselves walking together after a long day. The city was quiet, the streets shimmering with reflections of streetlights in puddles. Nadia stopped, turning to face him. She didn't speak of wealth or status. She spoke of gratitude, admiration, and finally, love. She admitted that the moment he had held her hand in that critical instant, a part of her had recognized something rare, a man whose heart was unshakable in the face of fear, whose courage had literally saved her life. Tears filled Armin's eyes, unspoken words choking him. In that instant, he realized life had a way of rewarding those who give selflessly, even when hope seems impossible. He had saved a life without expectation, and in return, he had found something priceless: connection, understanding, and love beyond measure. Months later, Armin and Nadia stood in a small park near his modest apartment. His daughter ran ahead, laughter spilling into the crisp air, and Nadia watched her with genuine warmth. They were worlds apart from the boardrooms and high-rise offices where she once ruled, yet in that small, chaotic, beautiful corner of the world, they had built a life defined not by wealth, but by courage, love, and the human heart. Their story became a quiet legend among those who knew it, a testament to the idea that true heroism isn't measured in grand gestures or recognition, it's measured in the willingness to act when it matters most, and to love without expectation. Armin never imagined that one rainy night, one act of courage, would lead to a life where his struggles were met with understanding, his heart met with love, and his daughter witnessed the profound magic of kindness and human connection. Before the story ends, please take a moment to comment below on what part of Armin and Nadia's journey touched your heart the most. Your words could inspire someone else today. If this story moved you, if it reminded you of the power of compassion, the beauty of second chances, or the magic of love born from courage, please hit the like button, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to our channel. Every act of kindness deserves to be celebrated, just like Armin's.